Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is one and only Kurandi Tony. Well, today we have a very special guest with us. Well, her name is Christa Campsall. She is one of the earliest students of Sydney Banks. She's an author and a 3P coach. So, with honor and pleasure, let's welcome Christa. Hi, Christa. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for this invitation. I look forward to speaking with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christa. Before we start, could you please tell us something about yourself and the work that you do?
Sure. I've been a teacher for many, many years, working in the classroom with children ages, 5 through 18. And also later in my career, I added a diploma of special education and worked in the field of special education, also with children from 5 to 18, and then added a Master of Arts in Leadership, which opened other opportunities within the school system. So I had a fabulous career working in the public school system here in British Columbia, Canada. And it's actually due to coming across the 3 principles way back when I was still studying to be a teacher, that in fact I finished that degree and carried on as a teacher. I found that just a little bit of knowledge about, the happiness lies within and thought creates reality really helped me settle my mind down so that I wasn't overthinking or analyzing. It was more being present with students, especially those who are struggling. As you know, Karan, some kids, you put them in a room with a computer and the books and they can learn all self-directed. With other young people, children and teenagers, they're struggling. They're not on a learning path. So for a trusted teacher to be able to connect with them and help them see the truth and beauty they have inside and settle their minds so that they can also be on a learning path. So my great joy working a very long career in public education here. And then upon retirement, I kind of looked around to see what other people in the 3 principles community were doing. And I saw a call for a global curriculum for kindergarten through grade 12, a principle-based curriculum that could be used because teachers were asking for that. And so I had written a couple before, but I decided I would go for it. And I started that project, and it's been, the last 6.5 years we've been working on the My Guide Inside curriculum, and it's got many, many facets now, as you can imagine. And also, I think it's noteworthy that it is a collaboration. I'm here in Canada. The main partner is Kathy Marshall Emerson. She's in the United States. In fact, she is the executive director of National Resilience Resource Center. She's been in the field of resilience even before she came upon the 3 principles. And she saw how when you learn about the 3 principles, you really are in touch with your own innate resilience. So it was really a joining of the 2 keywords in education. My other partner in this is Jane Tucker, and she has many, many years experience using the principles, both personally and then professionally as well. So we're very, very pleased to have created the curriculum, and now there are many facets to it, and also people have come forward with goodwill and want to translate it as well. So it's been a very exciting project that's still ongoing.
Wonderful. Yeah, this is something that I've seen first time. Somebody helping children and writing books for them. That's wonderful, because I think children and teenagers, they do go through a lot. When I was a teenager, at the age of 14, I also quit my school because I was not into studies, because my teachers, they used to beat me, and not much, but I didn't like it. So I can understand that children go through something. So what is it about children that inspired you to write the books?
You know, children, if you look at human development, it's very interesting how children will just absorb what they are taught. It's just natural for them to be learning all day. It's not about just when they're in school. They do that all day. And if you give children a few little secrets that I learned at age 21, it really helps them to feel secure and happy and to be on a learning path. The children, obviously, they're at the mercy of what's happening in the family and in the school and so on. There's not much in their control in the outside world. So if you help them to settle their mind and feel calm and know that it may be unsettled in the family, or it may be unsettled for them at school, they may have struggles making friends, or they may have struggles with learning. But if they begin to see that they can have a calm mind, and from this place of calmness, they can become on a learning path and find the joy in learning. Also for teenagers, they also are absorbing what is going on around them. And so if you inject these principles while they are shaping their philosophy, it's natural for them to put it in their bag of tricks, so to speak, on how to navigate life. So we're finding that it's very effective to teach children some very simple things so that they can navigate their world with a calmness and security and happiness, and we all have challenges, and meet their challenges with a sense of confidence. That's because it's a natural part of human development to create a philosophy at these young ages. It just makes sense to teach the children a few simple things about thought, about the availability of wisdom, about happiness being from within, that helps them settle their minds, settle the insecurity, and help them be on a learning path. On a path where they can have healthy relationship with their friends, healthy relationships with their teachers and their family, and navigate their world.
Wow, that's great. I wish I was there as a student of yours when I was a teenager or a child. Wonderful, wonderful. I've been there, so I can totally understand. Yeah, exactly. What children are going through is something that's happening in their head. They're thinking about the problems and the things. Great, wonderful. And how many books have you written?
Well, there's 3 different ones. They're all kind of the same pattern, because it's like a school book. So this is for the children 5 to 8 years old. It's all with stories and colorful pictures. And then the next one is for children 9 through 12 or 13. Same thing, stories. Stories, as you know, Karan, all around the world, human beings resonate with stories. So teaching through stories is very powerful. And then the third one is for like 13, 14 up to age 19, 20, something like that. This one is very special because all the stories are stories of my former students. You know, we changed the names a little bit, but they're all true stories. So it's really wonderful for other kids around the world to read how in distress a young person was, the simple things they learned, and then how their life is now. It's very powerful. And then there's teachers' manuals that go with it as well.
Wow, wonderful. Yeah, that is something creative, like reading books through stories, because children, they love it. They love the stories. Wonderful. So what are the stories about? I mean,
They're all teaching stories. So like in the very simple one, the young one, the first story is called My Feelings Come From Thought. And it's a little story of twin children and showing how their day goes and what they learn from their grandma. The next one is Happiness is Inside Me. And that story is about a girl at school and she learns something from her big buddy who comes, you know how sometimes the older children visit the younger children and they do a project together. So the next one is, this one, very good. Fast and Furious or Calm and Curious. A girl is just spinning like crazy and her mother is like, I'm not taking you out like this. You have to, settle, calm down, and then we can go. Instead of just spinning like crazy, why don't you help us get ready? And then another one, Enjoying Friendship, and so on. There's like eight chapters, so just like 6 stories in each book, but all with a very specific purpose of showing them that wisdom, my guidance side, we call it my guidance side. What we really mean is wisdom and common sense is available 24/7, 365. We can always trust that as we calm our intellect, wisdom is available and becomes apparent and helps guide us on our journey.
Wonderful. I love it. Can adults also read one of your books?
Yes, absolutely. Dr. Pettit, I think you interviewed him, is that right?
Yes.
He's fond of saying if everyone just read the first 4 chapters, we'd have a healthier world.
Wow.
So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that you want to keep it as simple as possible. This is not about a fancy intellectual understanding. I'm a math teacher as well, and sometimes we're teaching things that are quite complicated at first, but this is not that. This is about the simplicity of wisdom being available and the ability to calm our minds so that we can access the wisdom. Simpler the better.
Yeah, the simpler the better.
It's funny because sometimes people will say, that's too simple. Their intellect wants something more complicated. But it's not about the intellect. Let the intellect do its job. But when the intellect is controlling everything, that's when we run into trouble. Because the intellect can't advise us on everything. And that's when we start to feel insecure. Because the intellect doesn't have all the answers. Some of the answers come deep from within us. The deep feelings. Einstein would talk about deep feelings and intuition are the same. Intuition, like wisdom, common sense. He says, I'm not talking about emotions. I'm talking about deep feelings. Sid would say that too. Through the deep feelings comes the knowledge.
Wonderful. And as you said, the deep feelings, exactly what are they? Are they like something that is coming from our wisdom or something else?
Yeah, and often, as we know, it's beyond language even. Just that feeling of all is right and the feeling of calm and peace of mind. Sometimes a thought occurs to us. Sometimes we're just enjoying. If people think of looking at a baby and communicating with a baby, there's no language there. There's no words there. There's a deep feeling there. So it's really about having a calm mind. Maybe a thought occurs to us, maybe not. But just not working the intellect, just feeling at peace.
Wonderful. So I would like to ask you, what are the 3 principles and how do they work in our life?
So paraphrasing Sydney Banks, who of course had the first experience and was able to articulate these timeless, he's the first to say these are timeless principles. So the mind being the universal intelligence, and I would say, you know, that's the wisdom we all share is mind. Consciousness is, of course, the in a personal way, my consciousness is my ability to use my senses. And in a universal way, consciousness is awareness. And there's really and depth of understanding, and there's no end to learning or knowing. We're always, it's a big mystery, so we're always just touching it a little bit. And then thought, the principle of thought is really the power of creating ideas and the power of using thought to create our world and navigate our world. So, but really, they all work together like a fabulous movie. Really, we create. That's the thing for children and young people to understand. We create our reality. Yes, we all look at we all see the ocean, but we think different things. And so if we can understand how we work, if all of a sudden I understand that it's not you making me feel a certain way, then I have more personal power. But if I think you make me mad, or I'm only feel love because you give me love, then I'm at the mercy of the outside. So for children to understand that what they have within is so powerful. And how do we use it in day-to-day life? Well, we're not thinking about three principles all day long, but we're using three principles all day long, and we're using them when we sleep as well. But just that awareness, and what the teenagers really say is, number one, is that they have a greater awareness of what is going on inside my head, and having that ability to choose, do I want to keep thinking about this, or is it better to leave it go? And the other thing the teenagers commonly remark on is, now, because you're not thinking about yourself so much, you begin to see other people, and you begin to see other people with compassion. Before you understand these principles, it's all, you know, me, and what am I thinking? And I'm right and you're wrong. After, it's more like, oh, let me see what you need. How can I help you? And feeling that compassion for others. Whereas previously, it would have just been judgment and dismissal. So I think if you look at you're in India, I'm in Canada, if we see human beings rising in this way to feel more at peace, to feel more compassion for ourselves and each other, it's very powerful.
Exactly. And it is something that I experience every single day. Earlier, whenever I had thoughts, I would judge myself, judge others, hate people and things. But after having realized the principles or having had this understanding, now it's quite different. One moment I might be hating somebody, and if I just realize their thoughts, after 5 minutes, I have different thoughts about the person. Now they are the thoughts of love and understanding. And that's magical. That's magical.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for each one of us to gain a little bit of understanding of this beautiful, it's really a mystery. It really helps raise the level of all of us. Because what I do, if you think of my long career of all those years, how many students did I work with? You know, and how many families? Over, I don't know, was it 1,000, 2,000? And it ripples out. So if I work with this child who was struggling, and maybe like you was unhappy with school and ready to quit and whatever, and I help that young person see their own innate wisdom, and they determine, yes, I'm going to get my education and I'm going to choose a career path, then that's one person who, when they ripple out in society, that it ripples out in a healthy way, rather than in a way that caused problems for themselves and for others. So it has a big impact. We have a big impact on each other. Absolutely. And I'm starting to work with teachers in other countries, including India. And it's so beautiful,
Wow.
Karana, to see that we all speak the same language, really, when we look at the universal nature of these principles, where it's very much aligned, and it's beyond culture. In Canada, we have many cultures. We call it multicultural, but this knowledge is beyond culture. It's where we're all the same. We all work in the same way. We all can access our wisdom and help our level of understanding. So it's really a beautiful thing. And then, of course, with Zoom, now we can speak with each other as we are now without any difficulty at all. So I think it's really incredible how we can share so easily and really help each other.
Great. And can you please talk about happiness? As you said, it is like always within.
It's so interesting. If you're looking for the happiness outside, it's fleeting. The brain is always looking for something new. And if my happiness is a new outfit, tomorrow that outfit is old. Give me more, give me more. Or if I think my happiness comes from you or my children, then I'm looking to them to make me happy. And then some days they will make me mad. But if we understand that happiness really comes from within, and yes, it's fun to get some new clothes, and yes, it's fun to feel the love from our family or so on, but to know that really it comes from within and is available at any time. And this, I think, aligns with when I was a teenager, I had a good upbringing, lucky upbringing. I didn't really want for anything, but I was always looking for more, something new. And now yes, it's fun to go on a trip. It's fun to have new clothes or a new computer, whatever. But to know that the happiness really comes from inside and can be attained at any moment and can be shared freely. And the thing is, when I share my happiness with you or anybody I meet, I'm sharing it with myself as well. And I think every moment that we experience happiness, and I'll equate that with peace of mind, every moment that we have these feelings, we are not having the negative feelings. So every moment of happiness is valuable, absolutely.
Great. Sounds like it is always there for us. We just get caught up in our thinking. Great.
Yes.
Could you please?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Could you please also talk about the wisdom?
It's a beautiful mystery, isn't it? We share wisdom. We get insights. I mean, that's where the inventions come from, is an insight, a new thought. So to be open to the wisdom that is available is really a beautiful thing. It's not like we can intellectually schedule it at 12 noon, I'm going to have an insight and I'm going to be open to my wisdom. It's just a case of knowing, and for the children and youth to know it's available all the time. And how do we know? We just calm our intellect and the wisdom is there. But if you look at, beautiful leaders from around the world and through time and read some of these beautiful quotes of wisdom, you go, wow, that's so true. It's so true for me today, here and now. Somebody wrote this halfway around the world and 500 years ago, but wisdom is timeless. And when we recognize it, I think that's why when I first heard Sid, I was not interested I wasn't looking for a guru like many people were in the 70s, and I wasn't looking to follow anyone, quite the opposite. But the wisdom Sid spoke about, it woke something up in me, and I recognized, wow, that's in me too. And that's the beauty, is what Sid showed us, is that, well, he'd be like, don't follow me, don't listen to me, listen to your own wisdom. And I think that's the beautiful thing, is that if we realize, we share it. It's a mystery to me, to be honest. We share it, but we recognize it when we hear it.
Great. And we have access to the wisdom 24/7, all the time. It's just that all the time. We need to just let our personal thinking go. And in that moment, we can experience the wisdom. Wonderful. Also, I see that lots of people, they are suffering from anxiety, depression, stress. So how can these principles help them overcome these problems?
So Sid would say to me when I was teaching, in the classroom, and we would talk about teaching and education, and he would say, you can only build people up. And so for me, that if I want to help someone, I'm going to connect with them, whatever topic, doesn't matter. Young people have different interests. It's easy to connect with them and speak about what they're interested in. And then what we're doing is focusing on the truth and the beauty and wisdom that they have available. So that's really it, is focusing on the good stuff, and then it grows. Whatever we focus on grows. So I'm not going to focus on your thoughts of depression. I'm going to focus on the truth and beauty and wisdom you have within, and help that to grow. And that's how I would help you. Of course, in special education, children with anxiety would have, from the doctor, this is what's happening. But if you look at a psychology report very closely, they say right there, this is a snapshot. This is not the way it is for forever and ever. This is just a snapshot. We just took a picture of what's going on right now. And so as a teacher, I can help show you how thought has something to do with the world you're experiencing. And trust me, many, many people, if you're innocent and don't know this, they think, for example, someone who's aggressive, when I first talk to them about the principles, they're like, no, it's automatic. It has nothing to do with my thought. I just hit people and it's automatic. But you plant that seed. It starts with a thought, and then it's a feeling, and then it's a behavior. And it can happen just like that. So it looks like it's all together. But just plant that seed, thought. It starts with thought. And then guess what? Just like for me, one day they'll be there and they realize, oh, it is my thought. I'm thinking about hitting someone, and I can let that thought go, and then I don't have that bad action and get in trouble. So we just are planting seeds, and it makes such common sense that, as I'm saying, children naturally try on things because they're developing their philosophy. And it's very powerful because the logic is there. And if you start to see what I'm thinking in the moment relates to what I'm seeing in the world, then you have a little secret that will help you your life long.
Great. And earlier you said that thoughts create our reality. So could you please talk about that?
Reality is really my definition. I think I got it from a dictionary a long time ago, but it's how life looks to the thinker. So thought creating reality. What I am thinking creates how my life looks. If I'm thinking I'm not worthy, I don't deserve this, there may be an opportunity right in front of me. But how can I take advantage? You were saying about the children in India. It's not about the government. It's about them thinking they can't or don't want to be educated. So if, on the other hand, my thoughts are, this is a new opportunity, someone is offering me something, I think I should take the first step forward. And then you're responding to the circumstances in a different way. But it's always about, what am I putting out? If I'm putting out anger as a teacher, guess what? That's what I get back, because the children naturally want to defend themselves. But if you're putting out love and understanding to someone who's struggling, guess what? That's what comes back. They begin to trust you. They begin to see that they are also worthy of human dignity, and they deserve to see opportunities and health in their own lives as well.
Great. How do you put out love and understanding to somebody who's rude with you?
Just, it's your feeling. Where do you want to come from? If you see someone as rude, why is that? They feel insecure. So it's not about me. If someone is rude, that's, it's about them. I decide how I want to live my life and how the feeling I want to live in. But we just came from a trip, and we're not hard to deal with, when we're traveling, and we have to deal with all sorts of people and all kinds of things like that. You do that, and it really comes back. People who want to help you, they're kind, they're, give you the information you need, and so on. So if someone is rude, it really is, what is at the base of it is fear and insecurity. So even anger with children and teenagers with anger. Well, I understand that. What's at the base of the anger? Fear. How do you help fear? Is love helps them feel secure, so that the insecurity dissolves and they feel secure. Then they have no need to argue and fight anymore. The girl I was talking about, who thought she was hitting was automatic, what was going on? She was afraid that no one would be her friend. And of course, no one wants to be your friend when you're hitting them. What's at the base of that? Fear. If you understand that, you can help people feel secure. Obviously, you have to stay safe, but basically, come back with neutrality and with a positive feeling of understanding, and the rudeness disappears.
Exactly. Because if we focus on their bad behavior, rude behavior, that's what grows, because we are expanding that energy.
That's seems to me the logical rule. Whatever we focus on, of course, grows. So if we're focused on, this person is obviously insecure or innocent about something, and I feel secure and I feel I have compassion towards them, then it's not growing through me. What's growing through me is the compassion, and love is really the universal word for all of the principles. Sid would say, mind is love, consciousness is love, thought is love.
Great. And it's not just the romantic love, it's
Not at
human
all.
or
I
yeah.
mean, I shouldn't say not at all, but no, it's love for life, love for humanity, love for nature, just love, period, without attaching it to anything or anyone. Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
Yes. I mean, romantic love is also love, but besides that,
Yes.
there is more to
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Absolutely.
Great. How do you define love?
I think it's I think it's a beautiful feeling, and I think it's non-judgment.
Great. Exactly the way it is, non-judgment. It's in the moment. Wonderful.
Yeah,
And
perfect. Add that. It's in the moment.
moment.
We can think about love in the past, we can think about love in the future, but the only way to experience it is in the present. You're absolutely right.
That's great. Great. And could you please talk about the levels of consciousness?
Levels of consciousness. Basically speaking, the lower levels have to do with fear and insecurity and anger and jealousy. The higher levels have to do with love and compassion and non-judgment. So the more we can raise our level of consciousness through living in compassion and love, the better life I think we have, the healthier life I think we have. And the other thing about it is there's no end. We're all students of life. There is no end where we can stand on a mountaintop and look down and say, I'm better than you. There's no end to the levels. And if somebody thinks they've reached the highest point, well, I'm not so sure about that. I more see it as it's an unfolding. And as long as we're on this earth and in this body, we have the opportunity for that to unfold. So endless levels.
Great. Great. A confession to make. Talking of levels of consciousness, I remember earlier in my family, whenever my mom would get angry, I would feel bad, like, why is she angry? But my dad would also sometimes not much, get angry. And I never realized that it was just their levels of consciousness. If I could wait, uh, it would change. Soon they would be having different thoughts and different feelings. So the people having these problems in relationships, if they can understand this one simple thing, that the person is not broken, the person is not angry, it's just their thoughts, their levels of consciousness. So that can change. And I've always experienced the love from my parents. It's been amazing.
Nice.
I'm grateful to have that. But after having this understanding, the level of love is beyond. So yeah, that made me fall tears a little bit right now. So I had to confess that. That's love. Yeah, wonderful. Also, I want to ask you, those who are not suffering from any mental health problem, those who have problems in life, it could be health, money, relationship. So how can they find the solutions to their problems?
Everyone has challenges. That's life. Life presents us with challenges. Everyone will suffer loss and separation at some point in their life. It doesn't matter. In fact, my you'll like this, I think. My new Indian colleague, she's a wonderful teacher. She said to me, I once knew a man. He was a very, very poor man. All he had was money. Well, I think how it can help is that we look at Well, one of the teenagers comes to mind, and he said, "What's the difference for me?" He said, "I used to avoid thinking about any challenge. I was scared to think about a challenge." And he said, "Now I'm more willing to look at my challenge and find a path forward." Isn't that beautiful? So I think how it helps us is that we can look at what's in front of us, whatever challenge it is, and then use our common sense and our wisdom to help guide us forward. Sometimes it might mean having a conversation with someone we trust, or getting advice, or looking online for some more information. Whatever it is we need to do, we, instead of running away from it, we're able to face it and do the common sense steps that are needed, or that we see are needed, to help us move forward.
And that's wonderful. I've never seen such magical things happening in people's life anywhere else except in the community of three principles. People try affirmations, NLP, hypnosis. What are they doing? They are trying to change our thoughts. But the fact about thoughts is that they are always already changing. The wisdom is guiding
Yes.
us. Beautiful.
Yes.
All
Right
right.
on.
Wonderful. All right, Christa, it's been a great time with you. And those who would like to follow you, where can they find you?
MyGuidenside.com. And that links to my social platforms as well.
Wonderful. And where can we find your books?
They're on Amazon and so on. Yeah. So again, if you go on myguidenside.com, the book covers are there, and then it links you to Amazon. So we did paperback, and since the pandemic, we also put out Kindle as well.
Wow.
Make
Wonderful.
it easy. Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm going to get one.
Good.
Great. All right. Any last words for the audience?
Thank you so much. I'm really pleased that you're interested in how this knowledge can have a positive impact on children and youth. And I'm really touched by you sharing your stories, your own story of how you see your parents now. It's really beautiful. And that's the thing. If we speak of our own experience, there's a truth to that people can really help people. So thank you for sharing with me. Yeah. And have a great evening. And for me, it's noon. For you, it's nighttime. So thank you for this opportunity. I enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, Christa. And I'm grateful to you. Thank you very much. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Take care. Bye.